Mia had always been a quiet girl. When she was a child, she loved to laugh, run, and play with her friends. She believed that friendships lasted forever. She thought that if she was kind to people, they would always stay. But she was wrong. When she was 10 years old, her best friend, Lily, stopped talking to her. Mia didn't understand why. One day, they were playing together, and the next day, Lily was sitting with a new group of girls. Mia asked her, "Did I do something wrong?" Lily just shrugged and said, "You're too boring." Mia didn't cry, but something inside her hurt. She told herself it didn't matter. But she started to feel afraid of getting close to people. In middle school, Mia made a new friend, Sophie. One day, she told Sophie a secret. "I'm scared of being alone," she admitted in a soft voice. The next day, she heard her classmates laughing. "Did you hear? Mia is afraid of being alone," someone said. Mia's face turned red. She looked at Sophie, but Sophie just looked away. After that, Mia stopped telling people how she felt. By the time she was in high school, she had built strong walls around her heart. She had classmates and group projects, but no real friends. She told herself it was better this way. If she didn't let people in, they couldn't hurt her. But even though she was safe, she felt lonely. Years passed. Mia finished high school and moved to a new city for university. She thought maybe this was her chance to start fresh. But old habits were hard to break. At university, Mia focused on her studies. She was a good student, always on time, always prepared. But she never made deep connections. When classmates invited her for coffee, she said she was busy. When people asked personal questions, she gave short answers. After graduation, she got a job at a publishing house. It was a quiet job, perfect for someone like her. She spent her days reading manuscripts, correcting mistakes, and sending emails. She didn't need to talk much, and then she met Elena. Elena was different from Mia. She was warm, friendly, and always smiling. She had a loud laugh and a kind voice. She made jokes that made people feel comfortable. On Mia's first day at work, Elena sat next to her during lunch. "So, tell me something interesting about you," she said with a grin. Mia hesitated. I like books," she said. Elena laughed. "Okay, that makes sense since we work at a publishing house." She took a bite of her sandwich and continued. "But what kind of books? Mystery? Romance? Sci-fi?" Mia wasn't used to people asking about her interests. I like stories about people," she said slowly. "Stories where people change and grow." Elena smiled. "That's a great answer. We have the same interest. I think we're going to be friends." Mia's stomach tightened. Friends? The word scared her. She didn't know how to be a friend anymore, but Elena didn't push. She just sat with Mia at lunch, talked about books, and shared funny stories. Day by day, Mia started to relax. She started looking forward to their coffee breaks. She started laughing at Elena's silly jokes. She even started sharing little things. Her favorite childhood book. The fact that she liked rainy days. The way she sometimes felt nervous in big groups. And one day, without meaning to, she shared something real. "I don't think I know how to be a good friend," Mia said quietly. Elena tilted her head. "Why do you think that?" Mia swallowed. "Because I always push people away." Elena smiled gently. "Being a good friend doesn't mean you're perfect. It just means you care. And I can see that you do." Mia wanted to believe her. She really did. For the first time in years, she allowed herself to hope. But then, the fear returned. One day, Elena invited Mia to a small dinner with her friends. "It's just a few people," she said. "It'll be fun." Mia wanted to say yes, she really did. But as the evening approached, old fears filled her mind. What if they don't like me? What if I say something wrong? What if Elena realizes I'm not fun to be around? Her heart started beating fast. Her hands felt cold. She picked up her phone and typed, "Sorry, I don't feel well. I can't make it tonight." Then she turned off her phone and curled up in bed. But even though she was alone, she didn't feel safe. She felt small and guilty. The next day at work, Mia avoided Elena. She expected Elena to be angry or upset. Instead, Elena walked up to her with a small smile. "Hey," she said. "You okay?" Mia nodded quickly. "Yeah, just tired." Elena studied her for a moment, then said, "You don't have to explain. I just want you to know. I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere." Mia stared at her. Nobody had ever said that before. Nobody had ever stayed. Something inside her cracked. It was small, like a tiny light in the darkness. But it was there. Mia still had doubts. She still felt afraid. But she tried. She said yes to lunch with Elena and her friends. The first time she barely spoke. The sigh. Second time she said a few words. The third time she actually laughed. She started messaging Elena first, just to say hi. She started believing that maybe not everyone would leave. One evening, Mia found herself sitting in a cafe with Elena and her friends. She was listening to a funny story, a warm cup of tea in her hands. She looked around the table. People were laughing, talking, sharing stories. And for the first time, Mia didn't feel like an outsider. She felt like she belonged. She wasn't just trying anymore. She was living. And for the first time in a long time, she wasn't alone.